everybody, welcome back to Sprouts Tarot. So today I've got another pick a card reading for you. So as you can see, I've got 3 cards that you can choose from. The first one is the Wolf and the Rosehip, and this particular card, the theme is guardianship, and it came out in reverse. So I'm keeping the authenticity of this energy. So please use your intuition, okay? So whichever card you feel most drawn to, just choose that one. Pile number 2 is the Vulture and the Asphodel, and the theme is upheaval. Okay. And pile number 3 is purification, and the card is the Trout and the Lily of the Valley. 3 gorgeous cards. Okay, so please take your time and choose whichever card speaks to you the most. Go for that pile. See you in a little while. Okay, welcome back, pile number 1. So your significator card is the Wolf and the Rosehip in reverse. So every time I get a reverse card, I do pay more attention to that, because it means that maybe there's a more complex story behind it. So what I did was I went to my Chakra deck and I tried to find out the background story of this. So this particular card tells me that the issue of family or belonging group, like group belonging, is going to be key to this particular reading. Wolves are pack animals and there's safety in numbers. So generally they thrive in a group, and they are more wary of predators. I mean, they're a predatory animal, so but yeah, the survival instinct is to be part of a group. But since it's in reverse, there could be some issues with the family unit or a group that you should naturally belong to. So when I pulled this card, the recovery card from the Chakra deck, it confirms the energy of this card. So this is the story of Greta, and Greta now is an adult, but there's a part of her that has been hidden for quite some time. So when Greta was a child, she went through a lot of maybe trauma. There was some childhood secrets that she has kept locked up in her own mind. And every time she revisits maybe her actual physical childhood home, or she tries to reminisce about the past, the fears come up in like dreamlike images, and they surround her. And so she ends up being, in fear. But one day, when she had one of these episodes, all the childhood fears that she had morphed into a particular key. And this big wooden door that you see at the back, which represents the sealing or the closure or the bearing of those traumatic memories, she was able to unlock. So basically the new lease of her life has been found, because she has faced her demons. She's released the skeletons in her closet, and she's been able to make her recovery because of that. So please understand that a tarot reading is just for entertainment. So if you do have traumatic, really heavy trauma, or you feel burdened in particular, you have to consult like a therapist, like a licensed therapist. So this is only for entertainment, okay? So now I'm working with the Monet deck today, because it's a very tranquil and it's a beautiful deck while being amazingly truthful. So this deck I've worked with before, and it gives me no nonsense answers. So let's first see what the story is, okay? Oh, very nice. Can you still see? No, I'll put it here. Okay, as I thought. Okay, bottom of the deck. Okay. So, outwardly, it looks as though things look glorious on paper. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles is basically abundance, and it's the happily ever afters. And so these are the cards that we are all striving for. So on the front, it looks as though you have the dream life. However, what is hidden from everybody else is this aspect, Greta's childhood trauma issue, or the secret that's been locked up. And this is what is the binding factor to what will create true stability and true happiness. So right now it looks as though you're trying to live a double life of some sort. So what it looks like to other people and how it feels like to you is not on par. So even though you might have like a beautiful family, and you know, like maybe a kid, like 2 kids and a cat and a dog and a white picket fence, but the issue of how safe that feels, it doesn't feel stable enough. And that's because there's like an inner worry that it can all be taken away if people understood this aspect of you. Okay, so the closed skeleton aspect. And in the same with the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles means that you've got material abundance, basically. So you're living in comfort. But once again, underlying this is that, are these things going to be kept for the long term? And because this aspect of you or your life has not been released, maybe you are in a risk of disrupting this picture perfect scenario that we have, because you've got the Devil card. Now, the Devil card is a binding card. So maybe there is substance abuse or addiction that could trigger these things to be lost. And why there is this particular addiction. So you could be a shopaholic. So it doesn't have to necessarily be alcohol or, okay, so you could be overdoing it with a credit card. You could be having maybe dangerous online liaisons or something like that, okay? But because this Devil card appeared, I'm connecting with this, that there is an element in your life that you feel is holding you, like basically holding some sort of ransom, okay? So you're afraid that this is going to come out. This particular addiction or this issue is connected maybe to an unaddressed childhood trauma or incident that you haven't as yet faced, and you're basically numbing it through this outlet. And so you really do need to speak to somebody who you do trust. Maybe there is someone from your family who was not directly involved in this, but who knew the true story that you can consult. Or maybe there's a friend who really is like a bestie, a BFF, who you can actually open up to and truly express yourself to that person. So, yeah. What you need right now is somebody who basically can hold the helm while you go through this particular recovery process. So you need somebody who will give you good advice and who will basically hold your hand through this process, okay? So the King of Cups energy is somebody who already has control of emotions and these issues, or possibly has already been through it. Okay, so has already been through this particular trauma themselves, who can give you better guidance. Okay, so I don't have anything more to say, because this is this is above my pay grade. Yeah, I wish you all the best, and if this does resonate with you, please let me know in the comment section down below, because yeah, I'm interested in your story. And if you don't want to disclose it publicly, you can just, you know, mail me privately, and I would love to know more about who you are as a person. So, well, anyway, take care. Okay, see you next time. Hello, Pile 2, welcome back. So the card that you've chosen is the Vulture and the Asphodel. So the Asphodel flowers were traditionally associated with the underworld. So during cycles of, you know, death and funeral rites, probably. That's my guess. I read about this quite a while ago. And the vulture, of course, is associated with the cycle of decomposition. Traditionally, vultures were seen in battle scenes, right? Where the many bodies that were sacrificed, it was basically part of the recycling process of humans back to the earth, and that was done by the vulture. This card is called Upheaval, so simply by this and the whole kind of death and rebirth or transformation cycle, we can have a guess that some turbulence has occurred in your life recently. The Abundance card is the card of the intellect. So from the Chakra deck, this yellow card, the yellow color implies decisions that we need to make. And as you can see, there's a treasure chest filled with coins that are locked inside. So in this story, as you can see, there are two reactions for when you lose something precious. One is to cry over spilled milk and get into a panic attack, and then like you're at a loss as to what to do. I mean, you'll lament to others, you'll scream, you'll thump your chest, but you won't actually think of an active plan to try to retrieve what it is that you've lost. So the other choice to make is, what this little girl is trying to do is, they've both dropped some coins down this drain hole, right? She's trying to fish it out. So she's trying to create some sort of mechanism to try to fish out the coin, because wealth is slowly accumulated, one coin at a time, Bitcoin or normal coins, and also wisdom or knowledge on how to do things, how to answer life's queries. It's also done by one experience at a time. So this has a double meaning. It can be literal wealth, or it could be wealth of experience and knowledge. So now we've got two cards to give us a bit of an idea of what this reading could be about. But we need to know the full story by using a tarot deck. And today's deck is going to be the Monet deck, because it's just a very soothing, kind of peaceful deck. So let's find out the story for this reading. Let's see what we have. Okay, the first card that comes out, it's going to start the process. Oh, okay. Let's wait for the full story to emerge. Oh. Okay. Can we see this one? No, yeah, kind of. Can barely just fit. Oh, that's good. Let's put it under here. Oh, we're going to be able to fit more here. Oh, okay. So once again, we've got page energy. So once we hit a page card, we know what to do. We need to ask for guidance here. Okay, so let me take out a deck to get some guidance. So let's see what the page has to tell us. Okay. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Oh, that's nice. That's a good message. So let's put it here for a while. Okay, you won't be able to see it, but that's okay. Just keep that in mind when we reach this point. And what's under the deck? We've got the Eight of Cups. Okay. Okay, so what it looks like to me is that originally you were working on a project and you were working well with a group of people. It was probably harmonious for quite some time, okay? So, or there was an agreement to work on this joint venture, joint project. However, the roles that were involved, what each person had to do, were probably not communicated very clearly. So it left room for misunderstandings. And some might say that there was intent, there was malicious intent involved. What eventually happened was that one or two members, maybe one, kind of felt fed up with the situation. And even if they didn't physically walk away, it seems as though they've emotionally left the project, or their heart just wasn't in it anymore. So yeah, feelings of apathy. So as you can see, it seems as though one's leaving and maybe took another team member away with them as they left this project. So I'm not so sure at this page whether, at this stage, whether this person that left was the one that created the misunderstanding, or maybe this person was at the brunt of the of accusations. But maybe the truth was hard to it just wasn't clear. The situation wasn't clear here. Okay, at this stage now, after walking away, of course there's a sense of being directionless, if there's such a word, directionless, yeah. Because maybe this was supposed to be a commitment of some sort that was from a long term, and now the person who has left is maybe wondering, what is the next step? What should they do next? So this is where this advice would come in, okay? So if you are the person who left, either you miscommunicated something or you were accused of something that you felt was an injustice, the next direction that you should, that you're thinking, you're contemplating of doing, the message for you is to feel the fear and do it anyway. So let me just read this advice. So I don't want to put in my own words here. Nelson Mandela once wrote, "The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." If you need to do something fearful, remember President Roosevelt's declaration, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." Face it. Share your fear with friends. There is safety in numbers, and if you feel safe, you will feel braver. Okay, so that's the message that we're getting from the universe for this particular reading. There is a new project coming through that gives you an opportunity to start over and it has the possibility of being lucrative. Okay, so this energy is coming forth. Maybe you're already aware of it. Okay, it seems as though you're already aware of it, and you're maybe planning to make a move, maybe as you see this reading. However, simply walking away from this project that you were working on before has left you feeling a little bit wary, feeling a little bit low, because maybe you did put a lot of heart and soul into this and you were expecting really great things from this project. However, because things were not particularly clear, and even now, maybe the root of the issue has still not been cleared yet, it's difficult for you to put complete faith in starting all over again with this new opportunity. So I think this particular reading is to tell you that despite things having gone awry, like things maybe haven't panned out so much, you've got to make a decision now. Are you going to be like her and find a way to recuperate your losses, or to somehow salvage this experience by looking at it in a positive way, right? Seeing it as collecting knowledge to accrue to your own wisdom bank? Or are you going to be like this fella and just freak out and be at a loss and then cry over spilt milk? It looks as though you're going to be like her because we've got the Sun card. So it seems as though ultimately you are going to choose the optimistic route, simply because it's underlying this card where a choice is asked of you. Which path are you going to choose? So it looks as though you've chosen the path to be optimistic and to take this new opportunity. So whatever has been in the past, it looks like you've made a decision to walk away from this energy, which is great. And so now the next opportunity that's coming towards you, as soon as you see it, I think the suggestion here, the message from the universe is take it. I mean, you've got nothing to lose. Okay. All right. So thank you for joining me today for this reading, and I hope it helped. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Welcome back, Pile 3. So the card that you chose today is Purification, and the Trout and the Lily of the Valley. So this particular card is very beautiful because it's symbolic of the return. So when rivers or lakes are decontaminated or cleansed, usually the one of the first fish that will introduce is the trout. So to make sure that they can thrive in that environment before they introduce other creatures. And the lily traditionally meant the return of happiness. So this card generally is after a purification or cleansing of some sort, you've restored yourself back to proper balance. I pulled a card from the Chakra deck to try to understand this story, this reading, in more depth, and I got this card. So in this particular story, this artist, he's quite eccentric and he lived alone. And he had all these visions that he conveyed on the canvas, but nobody could understand it because his vision was very unique. The way that he conceived and perceived of the world was, basically maybe in opposition to mainstream society. And one day he was asked to attend jury